Hello everyone, this is Rajesh Kumar from Scottish International School, Samli. Today we are going to discuss about chapter 8 from your NCRT from your class 7 science. Name of the chapter is Winds, Storms and Cyclones. So, in this chapter, in this video, what we are going to discuss? We are going to discuss about winds, thunderstorms, storms, cyclones, and safety measures from cyclones, and about tornadoes. So let's start. First of all, we have to know what is air. Whenever we are talking about winds, storms, and cyclones, all these things are associated with air. So, what is air? Air is a mixture of colorless gases. And see, since it doesn't have any color, we cannot see air. And the layer of air surrounding the earth is known as atmosphere. And the earth's atmosphere that extends to a height of several hundred kilometers above earth, but the air density is more within about 10 kilometers of the earth surface. Next we are going to discuss about atmospheric pressure. What is atmospheric pressure? The pressure exerted by atmosphere is called as atmospheric pressure. Okay, and that atmospheric pressure that atmospheric pressure is due to the weight of the air contained in it, in the atmosphere. Okay, and this atmospheric pressure that decreases with height. So atmospheric pressure at higher altitude is lesser as compared to the atmospheric pressure at the surface of the earth, on the surface of the earth. Okay, and the atmospheric pressure is related to weather on the earth. Even the small changes in the atmospheric pressure can result in significant changes in weather of the earth. Now, wind. We have noticed that when air blows, leaves of trees starts moving in the air. Banners and flags they start fluttering, and the pressure exerted by the moving air makes the leaves move and flags flutter. Okay, now have you noticed that holes are made in cloth banners? Why? The cloth of the banner offers a resistant, means opposition to the flow of the wind, and in order to reduce the force or huge pressure associated with the wind, holes are made which enable the winds to easily pass through the banners without damaging that banner. Okay, and we often find it easier to ride a bicycle in the direction of blowing wind. Okay, and why? Because wind exerts a pressure in the same direction of the motion. See, I have used that word wind many times. And what is that wind? The wind is nothing than moving air. Wind is moving air. Okay. Now, moving to next slide, there are some activities.
Does heating or cooling has any effect on air? Let us try to understand this with an activity. Here we have taken a boiling tube. A balloon is stretched tightly over the neck of the tube. A beaker with hot water and another beaker with cold water is taken. Place the boiling tube with the balloon in the hot water and observe. We can say that the balloon inflates after some time. Now, take out the balloon and wait for some time. Place the boiling tube with balloon in the cold water and observe. We can see that the balloon deflates. From these observations, we can infer that air expands on heating and shrinks on cooling.
Air expands on heating. Can you tell why smoke always rises up? Let us discover the answer of this question by trying a simple activity. Take a wooden stick and tie a piece of thread in the middle of it. Then take two equal-sized paper bags and hang them in the inverted position on the two ends of a wooden stick. Hold the stick with the help of a thread and place a burning candle below one of the bags. We notice that the balance of the two bags got disturbed. This is because as the warm air rises up, it pushes the bag above the candle. So we concluded that on heating, the air expands, occupying more space and eventually becomes lighter. Therefore, warm air is lighter than the cold air. So children, that is the reason why smoke always goes up.
So what we have discussed, we have watched the video and see that hot air is lighter than cold air and air expands on heating. Now, moving to the next topic, that is how wind produced. See, air flows from a region of higher pressure to a region of low pressure in the atmosphere. The greater the difference in the atmosphere, the faster the movement of air will be. Okay? And uneven heating of the earth in different regions is the main reason for wind movements. This uneven heating of the earth take place in two different ways. Now we are going to discuss about this. First one is uneven heating between the equator and the poles of the earth. See, we all know that the equator of the earth is at minimum distance from the sun. So that equatorial regions get maximum heat from the sun and become very hot. And if we are talking about that polar region, the polar regions being the maximum distance from the sun, it receives the minimum heat from the sun. So the polar regions of the earth are very cold and the warm air rises in the equatorial regions, creating an area of low pressure. This makes the wind to blow from the north and south polar regions towards the warmer equatorial region. Okay, and it must be noted that the strong winds produced due to uneven heating of the earth between the equatorial and polar regions do not blow in the exact north-south direction. This is because some change in the direction of the wind is caused due to the rotation of the earth about its axis. Okay, now let us discuss about uneven heating of land and water of ocean. See, during summer, the land near the equatorial regions gets heated up faster than water in the ocean. So the air above the land gets heated and rises up and produces a low pressure area. The cooler air over the ocean that rushes towards the land, and this gives rise to the wind blowing from ocean towards the land, and these seasonal winds are known as monsoon winds. Okay, and that monsoon winds, it carries a lot of water from the ocean and cause heavy rainfall. Okay, in India, wind blowing from southwest direction during summer brings heavy rainfall, and in during winter, wind blows from the land to ocean during winter, and land cools down faster than the water in the ocean during winter. Okay, and the warm air above the ocean rises and creates a low pressure area, and the cooler air from the land rushes towards the ocean, and these winds bring about small amount of rain in the winter. Okay, and this is all about that uneven heating of the land and water. Now let us watch the video to understand the relationship between wind speed and air pressure. Okay.
Wind and air pressure. Do you know that high-speed winds can blow away the weak roofs of buildings? High-speed winds are accompanied by reduced air pressure. Let us see an activity. Take a piece of paper and crumple it into the small ball. Now hold the empty glass bottle and place the paper ball just inside its mouth. Try to blow the ball to force into the bottle. Observe carefully. The paper ball is not moving inside the bottle. Do you know why? Actually, when we blow into the mouth of the bottle, the air near the mouth has higher speed. This decreases the pressure there. The air pressure inside the bottle is higher than near the bottle. When we blow the ball inside the bottle, the air inside the bottle pushes the ball out. So children, we concluded that increased wind speed is accompanied by reduced air pressure.
So what we have was in the video, what we have learned, that is high speed winds are accompanied by reduced air pressure. Okay. Now moving to the next topic, that is wind speed and wind direction. Okay, wind speed means how fast the air is moving. Okay, so the wind speed is measured by an instrument known as anemometer. It is generally consists of 3 or 4 cups which are mounted on a rod that can rotate freely, and these cups rotate after catching the wind. The base of the anemometer is directly attached to a scale, and greater the speed of the wind, faster the cup rotates. Okay, and the direction of wind that can be found by an instrument, by that instrument is known as wind vane. Okay, there is a arrow, the arrow of the wind vane freely rotate and finally points along the direction from which the wind blows. Now let us discuss about thunderstorm. Wind plays a significant role in the formation of thunderstorm, cyclone and tornadoes, which cause disasters. So what is a thunderstorm? A storm with lightning and thunder is known as thunderstorm. Okay, and it is produced by the dark clouds which are formed at a low altitude in the atmosphere. Thunder and lightning are the main features of the thunderstorm. Thunderstorms are formed in hot and humid tropical areas. Okay, and the surface of the earth get heated off to the rays of the sun. The hot surface of the earth warms the air in contact with it by conduction. Okay, conduction is the process of heat transfer. The warm air rises up and cool air rushes towards that position, that place, and that process is called as convection. Okay, and the warm air transfer heat to the upper level of the atmosphere and starts cooling. The water vapors present in the rising air condenses to form a cloud, and most of the water vapor of cloud form water droplets and some turn into ice particles which drift downwards, and the friction between the rising water droplets and ice particles produces opposite electric charge. When more or more charges they accumulate, it results a big electric spark in the cloud, and the lightning spark hits the nearby air, which expands vigorously, causing a loud sound called thunder. As the electricity charge flows to the earth, we observe a flash of lightning coming towards the earth. Large water drops fall on the earth as rain. Okay. Now, what are the precautions to be taken during a thunderstorm? First one is, we should not take shelter under an umbrella with a metallic end during lightning. Why? Because the metallic end acts as a good conductor of lightning and can harm us. Okay? Open garage and metal sheds are not safe places for shelter during lightning. Open places we should avoid that. Okay? During lightning. We should not take shelter under an isolated tall trees as its top parts is near the cloud. We should not lie on the ground during lightning. In case we are in swimming pool, it is advisable to get out from the water and go inside the nearby buildings. Okay, we enjoy rain, but when it's matter about thunderstorm or lightning, we should not come outside from our home. Okay, we should run to our home. We should run to a close place. Okay, a safe place. Now let us discuss about next point, that is cyclone. And what is cyclone? Cyclone is a huge revolving storm which is formed by high speed winds that are blowing around a central area of very low pressure in the atmosphere. During the hottest summer month, the cyclone is formed over warm sea water near the equator. A cyclone revolves due to the force exerted by the rotation of Earth. The force makes the high speed winds moving upward in the form of spiral with a large force and creates a very low pressure tunnel within the thunder clouds. And the center of the cyclone is known as eye of the cyclone. Okay, and it is very calm area having a low pressure. Once cyclone is formed, it begins to move over the surface of the sea. Winds around the eye can reach speed up to 200 km per hour, and a fully developed cyclone pumps out air of about 2 million tons per second. Okay, and the diameter of the eye varies from 10 to 30 kilometer. Okay, a cyclone quickly dies out when it moves over land because it is unable to receive heat energy from the warm sea water. Okay, now what are the safety measures to be taken for cyclone prone areas? Number one, implementation of early warning system for cyclone is the prime importance for the safety of the people of cyclone prone areas. Cyclone shelters should be constructed in every cyclone prone areas. Okay, and plantation, which is most important for our environment, that must be done. Okay, and food and medical facilities should be kept ready to ensure safety, to ensure against natural hazards. Adequate attention needs to be given to planning, development and expansion of habitation. Now let us discuss about, as a general people, what is our role, what should be our role. People may follow the guidelines. Okay, and the guidelines are never, I repeat, I used many times that word never ignore warning for cyclones issued by government and NGOs, non-government organizations. Be prepared to shift your valuable household items, domestic animals and vehicles to a safer place, the safe place. Keep all the emergency service phone numbers such as police, fire brigade and medical center ready for use. Drinking water should always be stored in a place. Do not touch wet switches or broken power supply in the affected areas. In case of emergency, cooperate with rescue operation team. Okay. Now, the last topic, that is tornado. What is tornado? A tornado is a violent storm which has a long column of rapidly rotating wind. It has the appearance of a dark funnel-shaped cloud which reaches the ground from the sky. A tornado moves across the surface of the land or sea, producing high speed of wind. Most of the tornadoes, they result from the thunderstorms. Tornadoes are very dangerous. They lift people and vehicles off the ground and throw them hundreds of meters away. They can uproot trees and electric poles, and they can disrupt the power supply. These can cause extensive damage to the building. A violent tornado can travel with the speed of about 300 km per hour. Its diameter can be as small as a meter and as large as a kilometer, and even more wider. A tornado creates extensive damage where it touches the ground. Okay, so that's all for today. We have completed the chapter, and do not forget to share, like and subscribe the channel. Thank you.